Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Sports Betting with Eddie Miles. Super Bowl 56 is officially under a week away. So, that it means that the largest sports betting spectacle of the year is approaching us really quickly. So, I'm here to unpackage the gargantuan prop betting market that is, that comes along with the Super Bowl every year. And it is massive. I mean, there's nothing that you can't bet on. I have scoured it, and I've been able to locate a handful, 6 to be exact, positive expected value bets with the help of OddsJam and all the tools that are available at oddsjam.com. The link is below. The website is phenomenal. Using their tools is so simple. It is streamlined. Locating and finding and betting and tracking your bets so much that it's basically almost hands-free. So if you don't know about OddsJam, I highly recommend get on their website, check it out. They have a free trial, 7 days. Big fan. So with the help of OddsJam, I've been able to locate these plays. I have already placed wagers on them myself. I will show you how to do that, where I found them, and we'll dig into that shortly. But before, I would briefly like to talk about the Super Bowl. This is a very fascinating Super Bowl for many reasons. There's a lot of storylines. I'm going to start just by going down a couple interesting, stats that, maybe they're not relevant. But this is the first Super Bowl we've ever had where we've matched up 2 number 4 seeds. It's cool. It's cool for the rest of the NFL to know that you just got to make the playoffs and you got a chance. I anticipate, teams the next 10, 20 years struggling around 500 to say, well, the Cincinnati Bengals did it back in 21, so if they did it, we could do it. And it's true. It's cool. It's really cool. It's great for the town, the NFL as a whole, and for the viewing public. Speaking of the viewing public, last year, not the viewing public, but the betting public. Every year, I'm pretty sure the handle shatters the prior year's record. But last year, there were 23.2 million people to place a legal sports bet on the Super Bowl with a total betting handle of $4.4 billion. Astronomical numbers. But the fact that between the time of last year's Super Bowl and now, there is 36 million more Americans that have the opportunity to legally place a bet. These numbers are going to be just blown out of the water again. So that's all good stuff, man. America is almost fully legal. It's getting there state by state. So if you have this chance and are in a state where sports betting is legal, I hope you are here listening, and I'm going to show you where to find some value today. Cincinnati, before this season, obviously, had not won a playoff game since 1990. It was the longest streak in all 4 major sports in America. They also have a 0-2 record in the Super Bowl. So only half as bad as my Minnesota Vikings with the 0-4 record. And the Bills, 0-4. Anyways, the Rams are 1-4 in Super Bowls. They were last here 3 years ago, and they won their only Super Bowl, 1999, the famous game against the Titans, where they came 1 yard short. And the greatest show on turf was etched into history. So we have two former number 1 overall picks at quarterback facing off against each other. That has not happened very often. Joe, cool as a cucumber Burrow, is attempting to become the 4th quarterback to win a Super Bowl under 25 years old. If you think you know the other 3, why don't you leave it in the comments below, without cheating, of course. It's not that hard to figure out. Matt Stafford, big ups to Matty Staffs. Before this season, he had a career playoff record of 0-3. He's already 3-0 this season, looking to go 4-0. And Sean McVay is still barely a few months young enough to, if he were to win, he will be the youngest coach to win the Super Bowl, edging out Mike Tomlin. So that's all cool stuff. Records get broken every year, and we're all here to witness it. As far as a few trends I would like to talk about, and trust me, trends can be very misleading. I'm not a big trends guy because I know for a fact, because I've done this, you can convince people with actual stats and trends to bet on either side of a game. It's not very difficult to do, if you're not sharp enough to realize that about 90% of these trends you read about are irrelevant, pointless, and it's not even worth knowing, except for in case you're in jeopardy or something. The key is to weed out that 90% and find, concrete, bulletproof stats, data, trends that are actually relevant to the end, to the final score of a game. Some stats truly will point that out. And I was able to find a few, so I just want to touch on a couple of those regarding the over-under in this year's game, which is opened at 49.5. It's at 48.5 currently. So the Bengals have gone under in 7 straight postseason games. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty telling, of their game plan. Also, the last 5 matchups between the Bengals and the Rams have all gone under. The Rams are 27-10-1 to the under in their last 38 games, so 2+ years, and also are 14-6 to the under following an against the spread loss. Like last week, they won the game, but they lost to that 3.5 hook, which I loved against San Francisco last Sunday. So that's 70%. They hit the under because their defense is phenomenal. I mean, the Rams, if they lay an egg the next week, you better believe the defense shows up, and I think that's what we're gonna have happen. So I plan on betting the under for this game. I believe you can wait on it. The public is known to bet the over. That's just what they do, especially in the Super Bowl. So, I would say wait until the day of. I believe that the number will get pushed up a little bit higher, and you might as well get all the value you can. Regarding the spread, a couple against the spread trends. Cincinnati has actually covered 7 consecutive games, ATS, dating back into the regular season. The Bengals are 8-2 as an underdog this year, including an undefeated 5-0 is road dogs. technically they're the home team for the Super Bowl, but they're on the road. They're traveling. They're not in the same time zone. It's a road game. It's not a huge home field advantage, but 5-0, undefeated as a road underdog. I like my chances. Los Angeles Rams are 2-5 against the spread in their last 7. Not very great, but they've been favored a lot. They are only 3-5 against the spread this season against teams with a winning percentage over 55. Compare that to the Bengals, who are 6-1 against the spread this year when they play teams with the same winning percentage. So that's pretty telling information in my opinion. I have already bet Cincinnati at plus 4.5. I recommend you do the same, and I would do it ASAP because the lines are going to drop. I don't think they'll drop to 3, but I could see 3.5 happening, and 4 has become a very critical number in the NFL. It hits, I think it's the 3rd or 4th most common number that hits. So getting that 4.5, I'm very thankful to have that hook. I anticipate a low-scoring field goal game either way. Personally, I think the Bengals are going to win. I really just do. It's kind of a destiny thing. Joe Burrow's, he's got that look, man. He really does. So with that, I would like to share my screen. Go ahead and share my screen. So this is the homepage when you get onto OddsJam. Another really, really cool aspect of it is the bet tracker that they offer, which is a free tool, so anyone can use it. And I'm telling you, it pays off. If you just go about sports betting all willy-nilly, like, you're not gonna know. You're just not gonna know how you've done against the closing line, the CLV. If you don't know that, that's probably the number one indicator of success, of profitability. If you can beat that closing line value regularly, you see here, I'm doing it 2/3 of the time. I'd like to be higher. I'd like to beat it 80-90%. Occasionally, you're just, the line will rip in the opposite direction. You can always hedge out of it. There's a thing in settings here where you get closing line notifications on the bet tracker. Boom, it'll email you, and then you can find a way out of the bet or to make it a better bet by, taking it on another book or whatever. So, since we're trying to talk about the Super Bowl, I blocked all the sports except football, just because we're talking about prop bets here. So if you go to the expected value page, generally there's a long list, and it's got expected value percentages baked right in. It'll show you the OddsJam perfect line, which is provided by Pinnacle, the sharpest book in the world. You could take that line into one of the calculators here. You want to go to the NoVig fair odds line. That is where you will find, in a hypothetically fair market where there was no juice, there was no house trying to win money, that's what the line should be. Right here they're saying there's a little bit of value if you play the money line and bet the Rams, because the perfect line, their Pinnacle's offering it at minus 203. Well, Bengals are 180. I'll do a quick example here for you, so you can see, if you plug in minus 203 plus 180, the perfect line, no vig involved or juice, is minus 187. So if you can get the Rams money line for anything better than minus 187, there's a little bit of expected value there. Personally, I don't believe in the Rams. I think the Bengals might win the game, but there's no way to really know. It's all mathematical, and I like to take that edge wherever I can get it. So what we're gonna do is just look at sports. We're gonna go football. This is the last game of the year. So bittersweet the Super Bowl is every year. Not gonna have football until training camp, July, late July, August, September. Games start to maybe matter. So this is sad, but look at this prop betting market. Holy cow moly. It's endless, and I've looked all over the place. So what I'm going to do, in general, a lot of prop bets, it's kind of a sucker market. They came around because people want to predict the future, but it's difficult to do. But when there's this many options, there are certainly ways to put the odds in our favor. There's a couple things I like. Let's look at anytime touchdowns, which is touchdown. Sony Michel. That's my guy. I do believe that Cam Akers is kind of in the doghouse. He's had a really poor playoffs. And Michel has had 5 rushes within the 5-yard line this playoffs. Now he hasn't scored a touchdown yet, but he's due. So player touchdowns. There we go. So here are the odds all the way around. Another one I do like and have bet on. Both tight ends in this game are injured with the same injury. CJ Uzama had to be carted off. I don't believe he's going to play. I just don't. I don't see it happening. So his backup, his name is Drew Sample, 6'6", big, strong, good hands. It's a target in the red zone. Joe Burrow loves that. I think Sample, betting on him to get a touchdown. See, I got him at plus 500, but what you do, you take it, boom. You wanted it over there, put it in your book. See, I got it on 500 at Bovada. What do you want to put on it? Put 25, and boom, there it goes, right into the tracker. It'll update its own self with the closing line and all that. And then you can just see where you're profitable, what sport you are in. I like Drew Sample touchdown. I like Sony Michel to score. And I got it at plus 350. They're going to run, the Rams, I do believe, will control the clock early. I think they're going to use the home field advantage, the momentum, the excitement of playing a Super Bowl at home. I think they're going to use that. They're going to come out and dominate. That's why I also have a bet for Rams to win the first quarter. Now you can do first quarter point spread right here. And it was Rams minus half a point right here. Yeah, and there's value on it. I mean, it's a positive play. And we all know the Bengals and Burrow, they like to come from behind. It's like they dig themselves a hole. And then, man, I would love to be in that locker room, a fly on the wall in there, hearing how Joe Burrow hypes these guys up. I can't imagine their coach has the moxie to fire them up the way that Burrow does. They come out in the second half and don't allow a point to the Chiefs. Shut down the Titans. And they're a below average defense all year. 26th rated against the pass. So I think the Rams are going to eat early. I like this bet. I've already placed it, so I'm not going to place it for a second time. That being said, what I do love is the third quarter bet on the Bengals. And I will show you that on the final page because it's not on here. The best way to take it, I found, was a three-way money line bet where you could take Rams, Bengals, or a draw in the third quarter. I got the Bengals at plus 160. It's a ton of value for the third quarter. Let's see. Otherwise, oh, here we go. This bet is called a winning margin four-way, or at my sportsbook, a few other of them, they call it big win, little win. It's a really cool bet, and it's a 4 options. You're either going to have the Rams are going to win by 1 to 13 points, or they're going to win by 14 or more, or will the Bengals win by 1 to 13, or will the Bengals win by 2 touchdowns or more. Now, personally, I think you can eliminate this top bet. The Bengals can very easily win this game, but they're not going to win by more than 2 touchdowns. I don't think anyone's going to win by more than 10. There's little to no hope of that. It's a very evenly matched teams. Their strategies are it's gonna be like a boxing match, man. They're gonna feel each other out. There's gonna be some hard hits. There's gonna be some big plays in the second half. I love the second half to be a higher scoring game. I mean, the last 6 games since the divisional round have all been decided by 3 points or less, except one game was a 6-point game. So there's been 2 overtime games. That's a prop bet I like too. And even though these are longer shot odds, like to win in will there be overtime? I personally put a play on it. I think there's a very good chance that there will be. And at 10 to 1 odds, I'll take that. And it's a long shot. Throw $10 on it. If it happens you win 100, it's the Super Bowl. So why not have a little fun? Anyway, over here, and this depends on who do you think's going to win. I mean, if you think the Rams are going to win this game, but you just don't know by how much, and the spread worries you, and it should. But the money line is, what is it, minus 190 now? Minus 180? This is a good way to get the Rams to win the game and still get positive odds. Like, look, you get the plus 140. All they got to do is win by 1 to 13 points. So I like that if you like the Rams to win. I put a small shot on the Bengals, plus 230. Beats the hell out of their money line. It's just increases because it lowers the possible outcomes. There's crazy stuff. The MVP odds are long. There would be something to get a defensive player this year, It would be cool to have Cooper Kupp win one, but his odds are only 6 to 1. The quarterbacks are both obviously big favorites. Could you imagine Von Miller gets a handful of sacks, maybe a strip sack touchdown, and gets his second MVP? That would be historic. I think they're 25 or 30 to 1 on that. Another crazy bet you could do is no touchdown scored. I think that's 100 to 1. Tough luck. But, last time the Rams were in the Super Bowl was the lowest scoring Super Bowl there ever was against the Patriots. I think it was 13 to 3 or 13-6, something like that. So it's possible. But, weather's not going to be a factor. Regardless, you make your plays. It just pays to have as many books as you can have open. That's going to increase the amount of positive EV bets you're going to find. So depending on what state you're in and how many options you got, that's the way to do it. And then you can always use these calculators to figure out a hedge amount, or if you're looking at arbitrage betting, which is risk-free money. If you're not familiar, there's a whole promo here on it to read about it. it's cool. I mean, you got to have a good bankroll, but it's risk-free percentages, you know. I mean, we can take a peek right now and see if there's anything. That's the calculator. I got them all turned off, so look at my bet tracker quick. I have it loaded here. These are all my pending plays. It's an overtime bet. It's gonna be a good Super Bowl. So now I want to show you guys my favorite 6 prop bets for the Super Bowl. The first play, and in all honesty, it's either my favorite or second favorite prop bet this year. I absolutely love it. The first score of the game to be a field goal. Now, hear me on this. 4 consecutive Super Bowls have started with a field goal being the first score, and 5 out of the last 6. That's more than just luck. And like I had said, I do believe this game is going to start out like a boxing match. They're going to be feeling each other out. There'll be some 3 and outs. I think there'll be, I don't think this score will happen till late in the first quarter, honestly. Someone's second possession. I do believe the Rams probably will have the first points. So you can bet Rams field goal if you'd like at plus 350. But the safe play, in my opinion, is just taking a field goal as the first points of the game at plus 135. I absolutely believe that a field goal will be the first score of this year's Super Bowl. Not only do both teams have really good defenses that tend to play their best in the first quarter and the beginning of the game, we're dealing with 2 of the best kickers in the NFL. And frankly, my newest favorite player in Evan McPherson, this kid is pure ice. In the playoffs alone, he's 16 for 16 on kicks, 12 for 12 on field goals every game, 4 for 4 with 2 game winners. This kid is a beast. He's 22 years old. It's fantastic. And here in a minute, I will show you something else that might make you laugh, but you know what? It would be the coolest thing ever if it happened. So that's play 1. Second play is the overtime bet we spoke about. You know, I know it's long odds, 10-1, but basically what that says is they're saying giving you a 10% chance that the game will go into overtime. Personally, I believe it's more like a 15 to 20% chance. Therefore, expected value. That's basically where we're trying to find value, in percentage that bets hit over the long course. If you're placing them, with high EVs, you're going to make money. There's no way around it. And that's why OddsJam is so awesome, because it identifies these discrepancies and expected values like that. So, next play. The anytime touchdowns. We spoke about these. Usually not a fan of these bets, but I do see value with Sony Michel. I believe he scores on Sunday. And, the first touchdown of the game, last touchdown of the game, those are not great bets in my opinion, but the first touchdown of the game, if Sony Michel hits it, 16-1, it's worth a sprinkle. It's worth a sprinkle. And if you're feeling crazy and want to just have some action, why don't you put a tiny little play on no touchdown, 100-1. I'm not going to, because there's points going to be scored. No doubt about it. Bet number 4 is the big win, little win we spoke about. Now, in my opinion, this is my favorite way to bet this game, because I don't see any world in which this game is over a 2 touchdown difference. I really don't. Now, you can kind of take this either way. If you believe the Rams to win, I think you take the Rams minus 1 to 13 point win. at plus 135. You could even put a shot on both if you're kind of tossed up, don't know who's going to hit. They're both plus money. So that way, as long as it's not a 14 or higher game, then you're guaranteed to make a little bit of money. So, that's a personal play. I'm going to be on the Bengals at plus 233. It beats their money line by quite a bit. And as does the Rams, obviously. The Rams money line is about minus 190 or 180. And now you're getting it at plus money. So that's a great value there. Fifth play. This is what we spoke about just a minute ago. This exact bet I found on Bowl LVI sportsbook. I love this play. This is a 3-way money line bet for the third quarter. So basically, who's going to score more points in the third quarter? The Rams. Will it be a tie or the Bengals? And I believe in the Bengals here, and you're getting it at plus 160. Plus 160 is really good odds. So that's my second favorite play of the entire prop betting market. It really is. And last but not least, this is the Super Bowl, so why not put a long shot out there? MVP, Evan McPherson. This kid, man. If he hits another game-winning field goal as the clock expires for a third consecutive, week as a rookie, I don't see how you don't give him the MVP. I really don't. And he deserves it. This guy is telling Joe Burrow that we're moving on to the next round, before it even happens. Most people would fail instantly. That's an auto jinx. You know what I mean? But not with McPherson. This kid's cut from a different cloth. So, and at 55-1, why not sprinkle a little bit on there? I did. Anyways, you guys have been great. Good luck this Super Bowl. Let's all make some money. And I'll be back. Peace.